Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. Today is Wednesday, and I do my Q&A on Wednesdays, where basically you get to ask me your questions the week prior, and I answer them this week. So I had a huge amount of questions that were asked of me this week, and lots of really great ones. There's going to be a lot of stuff that I'll show in this video. So however, there's one question I didn't write it down, but somebody did ask me to show this, so I figured I'll show it. I forgot who asked, but if they're watching, you can comment below, say, hey, it was me that asked it. They asked me to show a particular book that's on my wall, maybe a little hard to see in the background, and they were, they wanted to see it. It's a great book. So it's this one, Reformed Schoolgirl. So this is just a really great Seduction of Innocent book. Actually, the girl on the cover is a Canadian figure skater, but they have her kind of dressed in this kind of sexy kind of outfit and pulling up her stockings. So it's kind of a sexy one. It's actually in the Seduction of Innocent with as a cover. They show in the lithograph of it. So which makes it exceptionally valuable because usually if it's in the Seduction of the Innocent and it's like shown as a picture, collectors seek it a little bit more. This is a low grade, but a very hard book to find. So this was used in the Seduction of the Innocent, and it's because of the cover, really, because it's like, teaching kids bad things, reform schoolgirl. Yeah. So that's hopefully it showed off well, and you enjoyed that. Okay. The next question is from Michael L, and he asked, what are your top 10 must-have to keep in your collection for all time books? Okay. So with me, the way I was thinking about this is which books would be kind of the hardest to replace, and not necessarily because they're rare. Like some of these books actually you can get, but just that their prices just keep on growing, so they'd be a little harder to afford and put back into my collection. So with that being said, I'm going to tell you the 10 that I was thinking. And I might actually switch one of them out. I'm thinking about, there's one that I might switch. Okay, so it'd be my 3 Wonder Women, Wonder Woman books. The Wonder Woman #1, All-Star 8, and Sensation Comics #1. Those 3 are kind of like the 3 grails of Wonder Woman. They would be really hard to replace, so those 3 right off the bat. The next one would be Zombie Tramp #1. If you don't like Zombie Tramp, I can understand, but I really like Zombie Tramp, and it's a book that is impossible to find. I've only seen it offered once, and there's only a few on the census. It is rarer than many Golden Age books. It is just a ghost, and I just happen to have a copy of it, and it's something that I would, if I was in a fire, I'd grab it because it is a book that would be impossible to replace. So the next one would be, so it's a lot of expensive books. So it's my Tales of Suspense #39, First Iron Man. My Amazing Fantasy 15, that's hard to replace. I just saw an auction on the weekend, which was a lower grade than the one I have, but it was 52,000. That's crazy. So I don't think I could replace that because I'd have to sell a kidney. So yeah, that would be one of the ones. Then it would be Hulk 1. That's another book that I've seen kind of continually going up. And then my Fantastic Four #1. One of my favorite books, actually. I really like Fantastic Four. And then one that I'm sort of, okay, so, and then it would be my Journey into Mystery 83, another book that's kind of keeps on going up. It's the first Thor. One that I was kind of debating about is actually my X-Men #1. That's a book, maybe. Maybe I would, because I think I could replace an X-Men 1. Now, what would I replace with it? So what would be my 10th book? Probably either my Albedo #2, which is a really hard book to find, or my More Fun Comics #55. Those two books are really hard to get. So it'd be one of those ones. Probably it'd be my More Fun, because it's just, that was a real pain to get in the first place, and I don't want to go through that again. So those books would probably be the ones that I would choose. So X-Men 1 didn't make the cut in a way. So I was thinking about it though. Okay, so those are my 10. Next question is from Brian Com, and he said, awesome video as usual. I'm always watching your videos and wondering if you read certain books. Number one, with your love of comics history, I've wondered if you've ever read Planetary from Warren Ellis and Wildstorm/DC. Detectives trying to uncover the secret history of a mashup of comic book universes that they live in. I actually checked it out after seeing this question. I didn't read it yet, but I will be probably reading it online. So I will be in the future reading that one. And the same for the second one. I have heard of this one though. I didn't hear of Planetary before, so I didn't know about it, but I definitely am going to check it out. The number 2 was, have you ever read Irredeemable from Mark Waid at Boom Studios? Superman Gone Bad premise. Also quite good. I haven't read it, but I was familiar with it. I just haven't had a chance to read it. But those are 2 books that, Planetary is a series. I'll definitely check that out, and I'll also check out Irredeemable, which is another series actually. So yeah, I'm gonna check them both out, but I haven't read yet. So the last thing I was reading, just so you know what I was reading lately, I read every single Cave Woman book. So that was what I was doing on the last few days. I was kind of going through and reading all of those books. There's not much story. They're pretty easy to read, so it didn't take me long to actually read all of them. So yeah, Cave Woman is something I just recently read. Next question is from Black Boxed Silver and Bronze. He asked, have you ever showed Walt Disney Comics, after you showed Walt Disney Comics #1, which is this book, Walt Disney Comics #1, has a nice Donald Duck cover. You also say that you have the first Donald Duck comic, and I got to qualify that one, but I don't know anything about Disney Comics, but it would seem that the first Donald Duck book would be Walt Disney Comics #1, since he is on the cover. Was there a Donald Duck comic before Walt Disney Comics #1? Yes, simply. So Walt Disney Comics #1 came out in I believe it was in 1939. So there was actually books earlier than that. The first Donald Duck book is actually not a comic. It's a book. It's huge. It's got this canvas. It's like canvas. I'm not sure if you can see, but it's a canvas book. And as such, it actually survived quite well. So you can actually pick these up fairly inexpensively. When I'm saying that, this is from 1934, 35 era, in that range. And you can pick these up for a few $100s, $200-300. So very inexpensive book. But this is the first Donald Duck book. And it's, it's quite good. It's Donald Duck. And, it's big pages, so it's kind of nice to read. So definitely one worthy of checking out, Donald Duck, Walt Disney. So this is one of those ones that, it's kind of cool to have the first Donald Duck comic or book. So I recommend, if you're interested in Donald Duck or if you're interested in Disney ones, this is a pretty affordable one to pick up. Unlike the Walt Disney Comics #1, which is later, that book is insanely expensive. I saw a coverless one going for about $1,000. So, and it was incomplete, not just lacking a cover, but incomplete and lacking a cover. So, very expensive book. Okay, so that's that question. Next is from Matthew W. I see you've already got one Vampirella related question. I was going to ask you to show 5 of your favorite non-Warren Vampirella covers. Well, I'm going to do better than that. I'm actually going to show you a bunch of Vampirella covers because there's a bunch. I always hate that kind of question where they say, "Oh, what's your favorite something?" And it's like, what's your favorite child? It's kind of that situation for me. I love so many of my comics, but these are ones that I think I have really great covers. And I kind of wanted to show this first one. It is not one of the 5, I guess, but it's one that I think is kind of interesting. There's another YouTube channel called Comic Gains, I believe, and there's they always have this kind of sexy Asian girl on it. And so a shout out to that channel. And she always comes to whenever they buy books, she'll kind of be wearing something sexy, like usually some cosplays thing, and she'll go to the camera and show the book. It's kind of a cute thing that they do. However, when I saw this book, I was like, hey, it looks like her. So this is what the girl I think looks like. This is not her, but it's like a cosplay cover of Vampirella where it looks like Princess of Comic Gains. And tell me in the comments below, do you think this looks like Princess of Comic Gains or not? And if you're Princess of Comic Gains, you can tell me, did you pose for this? So I think it's a really great cover. I really like that cover. But I sometimes like cosplay covers. Now, I'm also going to show you an artist that I think is really great. Probably one that not many people know about, but he has some pretty amazing covers, and I'm just going to show you all of his covers, as well as a bunch of other really great Vampirella covers. So I'm going to show you a lot of Vampirella covers because I like Vampirella. Okay, so this is, and I think it's Segun. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. Say his name because I can't read it. It's his name is really small, or Gyo Young or something maybe. Okay, so this is just a very nice Vampirella cover. That's one by him. I'm totally brutalizing his name, so even though I know Korean and he's Korean. And then we got another one here. I thought this was kind of sexy. He always does these kind of almost like a little bit veiny skin. I don't know. Like you can see the girl's veins and stuff. I don't know. And I'll show you'll see that more on this one, actually. Next one. I thought these were kind of great. Okay, oh, I actually have his name written down here. Oh, it's Gyo Young Okay, so that's his name, Gyo Young I thought these were quite sexy. So I kind of like these ones by him. So, I don't know. So I'm just showing you all of his covers. And you can tell me in the comments below if you like his covers. Okay, so these are all his covers for Vampirella. He did like all these kind of virgin variants for Vampirella. And they go for about $20 to $30 each. So if you're interested in those, they're usually on eBay. And you just search for his name. It's Gyo Young And is spelled E-O-M in English. But yeah. Okay, then we got some really great, just some covers that I really like from Vampirella. They have a tendency of doing some really fun ones with Dynamite. So this one I thought was really great. If you're a Russ Meyer fan, you would appreciate this one. Russ Myers. So this is Faster Vampirella Kill Kill. And the Russ Myers movie is Faster Pussycat Kill Kill. So kind of a play on that. I thought it was kind of cool. And I'm going to show you what I think is kind of the sexiest cosplay cover. I forgot, it was like a local store that actually did this. I guess they brought in a model and they had like an exclusive where they could, produce like, a cosplay cover. So I thought this was quite sexy. She is dressed barely. So I just really like that one. So that one's kind of cool. And I was a big fan of Stray Dogs, and there was a kind of a crossover cover, not interior, with Vampirella and Stray Dogs, and I thought it was quite good. So this is Vampirella. I forgot what issue number this is or what issue it is, but it's just Stray Dogs cover. I thought it was quite good. And I like my bondage covers. And there's just this is a really great bondage Vampirella cover. A little bit of everything. And we got just this one. I thought it was really interesting. She's all tangled in the spider web, and it's very sexy Vampirella cover. So this is Vampirella number 15. It's nice bondage cover. And I thought this one was quite good. This is just like a variant. Okay. And if you're into anime or kind of like Japanese style stuff, I thought this one was kind of a cool cover. It's like Vampirella. And so I'm just showing you a bunch of Vampirella covers. I didn't pick which one's my favorite or not, but these are all ones that I thought were good. I thought this one was kind of cool. This one's not, I wouldn't say one of my top favorite, but I thought it was okay. And there's a bunch that got mixed in. Okay. And so that's it. There's a bunch of other stuff here, but it's not for this question. Okay. So those were some of the cool covers. Actually, wait, there's one more that I wanted to show. I just don't know where I put it. One sec here. I gotta find it because there is one more cover that I want to show, and there's a reason. Actually, there's two more that I want to show. There's actually a bunch. Okay, so okay, there's more Vampirella covers. So if you don't like Vampirella, just fast forward. I love Vampirella. So yesterday's video, and I have to explain this one a little bit. I showed Comic Clear, and they're just like a backing board that allow you to see the back of the comic and still have the hardness. They're about twice as thick as a regular backing board. And I actually did it incorrectly. Somebody commented, hey, you got to take off the film on both sides. And I was like, oh, I'm an idiot. So so I ended up redoing another one. And I did it for a comic that I really love. And this is a Harris Vampirella. And it's Vengeance of Vampirella #1. And the reason it's a really great foily cover, and mine's signed. I got it signed. And it has a very sexy back. And it's her back. So yeah, so this is, and it's like this kind of foily stuff. It's really great. I just really love this cover. So that's Vengeance of Vampirella #1 from Harris. And this is one that I thought was kind of cool. Not necessarily like, it's more cool and a bit sexy if you like zombie boobs. This is Dynamite Never Dies. And it's like kind of like a Vampirella cover. But these are some of my favorite Vampirella covers that I'm about to show you. This one got mixed in. Okay. I just thought these are ones where they use negative space, and I thought it just really, they look really great. So this is Vampirella. I'm not sure how well these will show on the camera, but they're just really great. It's very reflective, so it's like almost like a mirror. But you can see, like, it's like she's almost like invisible, but little bits of blood show where she is. And I just really think it's quite well done. I really like that one. And the other one, similar idea, is this one where she's almost like invisible, but you can see sort of where she would be. I think it's a really great cover as well, not just because of that element, but because of the way that they do the zombies and stuff in the background. And I just think it's a really great cover. Something simple and yet sophisticated about it. I really enjoy it. So those are some extra covers that I really enjoy. Okay, so that's enough Vampirella for this moment. I'm actually going to show some more Vampirella later, but for a different question. Okay, next question was from Keston's Old School comic books. Keston is a friend of the channel, and we collaborate every so often, and I invite him to collaborate with me again sometime. Cool video CCG. Question: when you aren't consuming comic book videos, what YouTube channels are you watching? Well, so I'm kind of I have like a bunch of interests. Like I'm into science, I'm into history, and I'm into politics. So those are kind of like the big things that I like watching. So I'll watch like I like watching the news. I'm a bit of a news junkie as well. So I'll watch like the CNN, which I sort of have to like balance it out by watching Fox, which is kind of like the two extremes in terms of the way that they message things. I like Tucker Carlson though. So I kind of watch those two just to get a sort of both sides of the story maybe. And I watch like Louder with Crowder. That's a very good channel. I watch Lauren Chen. So what's another one that I watch? And I watch a lot of history ones. So I watch like History Debunked. Excuse me. It's a British historian that kind of he's kind of, his first videos were better than his more recent stuff. I feel like he's more getting into this complaining about the culture wars, which I think is interesting, but I kind of preferred more of his historical stuff. So yeah, he had a pretty good channel. And then what's some others? I watch like every like, you know, the typical movie ones, like I forget their names. This is the problem with bookmarks. You just have it automatically in your playlist and you just click it and not really realize what you're watching. I actually sometimes watch a Canadian news show called Rebel News. I'm sort of iffy on them. I've actually met them in real life. But I found that sometimes the way that they present things it's accurate, but it's not the best. A really good news channel, if you're into news junkie kind of thing like I am, is Epoch News. They are actually really good. Another one that's really good is China Uncensored. I find that they provide really, you know, fair, balanced things. Obviously, they both have their anti-Chinese bias, but I find that they're, even with that bias, they're actually fairly fair about the way that they cover China. But you know, they cover other issues too. But I just had to say that because they do have a bias, and it's always good whenever you watch whatever channel. It's always good to be aware of the channel's bias so that you can be a little bit skeptical. It's always good to be a little skeptical. I always personally, I'm one of those people who will listen to the news, watch the news, and then I will go and actually check out the original documents or whatever, just to really verify that what I've just watched is actually true, if that makes sense. There used to be a channel that I really liked, which was Atheism is Unstoppable, but it got banned on YouTube. It was really good though. I actually still watch it on censored.tv. So you can check out Atheism is Unstoppable. That's a really good channel. And yeah, so those are some of the channels that I watch. There's like hundreds of channels. So just to give you a sense of what I do on a daily basis, I generally, I'm working pretty much nonstop. I work really long hours. But the cool thing about my work is I work from home. I basically answer Skype messages, I answer email messages, and sometimes the phone will ring, or my cell phone. So I'll have like maybe multiple things going on. Uh, but sometimes when the phone is not ringing, or it's just a matter of like Skyping people, I will have videos playing in the background. So I'm watching like videos all day basically. And so it means that I consume a huge amount of information on a daily basis. So it's just the way my life is. Okay, so the next question is from David Ribello. And he wrote, the Batman movies have been, for the most part, successful moneymakers. Question, aside from Golden Age and Bronze Age, no H.G. Peter or Adam Hughes, who is your favorite Silver Age artist for Wonder Woman? And that's actually very simple. There was only like 2 or 3 artists that really kind of did the covers for the Silver Age Wonder Woman. So the one that I actually like, and I wasn't actually super familiar with their names, to tell you the truth, but I did know this guy, and it's Ross Andro, and I'll show you some of his covers. I just happen to have a few slabbed. I got a bunch, like I have the whole Silver Age run of Wonder Woman. I might show it in a later video or something, but these are some really great covers by Ross Andro. And I'm a big Cheetah fan, so this one's kind of cool. You got her Wonder Woman kind of grabbing Cheetah's tail and like flinging her against these kind of like monkey men. I think it was kind of cool. This is Wonder Woman 160. Kind of this I believe is the first Silver Age appearance of Cheetah. So kind of a cool book. And then we got 159. I thought this one I think is kind of cool because just because the way that they have her, like, you know, she's muffled, somebody's holding her mouth, and she's about to tell her secrets about her origin, and it's like, you know, it's kind of an interesting cover. I these covers usually I don't really like, where it's like a whole bunch of text on the cover and not much image, but this one I don't know, I kind of find it works. So that's another one of his. And another, the kind of the first Silver Age book for Wonder Woman is Wonder Woman 98. And it just happens to be a Ross Andro cover. I think it's also, he collaborated with Mike Esposito. So this is, I'm not sure if it's showing very well. It's very reflective. So it's just her, and it's like her doppelganger almost. And they're competing to become Wonder Woman, basically. And they're fighting on a log. So the way it worked was, just a little bit of the inside story. Wonder Woman had to compete with other women from Paradise Island in order to get the honor to go to America and, you know, help Steve Rogers. And they all dressed as Wonder Woman. So they all dressed the same so that it would be like a fair battle. So this is Wonder Woman versus Wonder Woman almost. Just a great cover. I really like his artwork. I'm more of a fan of the Golden Age stuff, and I'm actually more of a fan of some of the Bronze Age Wonder Woman covers. There's just some really great covers from the Bronze Age. So, but the Silver Age had some, you know, okay covers. I wasn't as big of a fan of the Silver Age in terms of Wonder Woman's covers. So just as a note, but I thought his covers were pretty good. Okay, so that's that. These over here. Okay, so next question is Epoch 252. Epoch asked, hi Ellen, I know you're from your videos that you're a big Vampirella fan, okay? So another Vampirella related question. Lately, I've been enjoying the recent Draculina book from Dynamite and wondered if you had checked the series out. Yes, I have checked the series out. My question is, other than Draculina's first appearance, are there any key or interesting Vampirella books for Draculina or any good cover appearances? As always, great videos. Okay, so I'm going to show you actually her key appearance, like her key books. So if you're not familiar with Draculina, she is Vampirella's sister, okay? And she made her first appearance in this book, Vampirella #2, which is the magazine from Warren Publishing. Sadly, this is not her on the cover, okay? And I don't know why she never made the cover. She never made the cover within Warren Publishing. But this is actually another character named Evilly. So yeah. And that's, Vampirella's cousin. So in this book, they kind of introduce a bit of Vampirella's family members. And this is where Draculina made her first appearance. Now, another key from Warren was because Vampirella and her sisters, or sister, and family members kind of have this whole Draculore. So Draculore is the planet they're from, and every so often they would bring some character from Draculore. So they'd bring, for example, her sister, her cousin. Well, another character from Draculore was Dracula. So Dracula, this is where the kind of crossover between Dracula and Vampirella. How do you say Draculina or Dracula? No. Now I'm mixing up the two names. That's kind of annoying. But okay. Okay. So the point is, those two are the kind of the Warren keys for her. She really didn't have that many appearances in the Warren books, and no cover appearances. So, and then she appeared in the Sacred Six. So this is where she made her team appearance. She is not on the cover. And I checked the other covers, and she's not on the covers. So this is kind of like another book where she doesn't make the cover for whatever reason. They don't seem to put Draculina on the cover. So that's her. That's a kind of a key book for Draculina. Another key book. So that would actually be the first time that she kind of reappears in the modern age. So she's a Silver Age character, and then she kind of reappears in the modern age in the Sacred Six, #1. So that's kind of her first modern age appearance. And then she got her own series. So I'm going to show you a few of the cool books for her first series. I'm not sure if you have them already, probably already do, but I will just show you them anyways. So whether you like it or not. No, okay, so this is a Draculina #1. This is the Rose Beche cover. I thought it was quite nice. So I basically got all the covers for Draculina #1. I couldn't find the A cover though. I have it, but I don't know where the A cover is. So these are all the variants. So this is another one. I'm not sure who did this one, but kind of cool. And then we got the cosplay. So got Draculina #1 cosplay. And I think this is kind of a key in a weird way. Beyond just being like a variant of the #1. This one, there's people that will collect this even if they don't know who the character is. And it's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles variant. So Dynamite did a bunch of variant covers where they kind of redid the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, or paid homage to it. And this is the Draculina version of it. So this is Draculina #1, the Turtles variant. And then we got the Virgin variant. So that's kind of nice, sexy cover. And then we got another one here. This is the last of them that I have in my collection. So just a bunch of Draculina books. And in terms of other key books for her, there really isn't any. So those are kind of the big ones for her. Where did I put my list? And I just lost my list. Where? Okay, here it is. Okay, a little disorganized. Okay, so those are some Draculina books, and they're quite cool. I like the series. So I more or less bought those books for the covers, but I do like the series. Okay, the next thing is from Ronald Burgess. He asked, was Blue Beetle from Charlton Comics also... Okay, wait. Was Blue Beetle from Charlton Comics also, and did he have a miniseries or a regular series? Okay, so what happened was with Charlton Comics, and I'll show you. Do I have it handy? Yeah, it's over here. Okay, so they produced this book called Blue Beetle #1, and you'll notice it is the first appearance of the question. Now, the Blue Beetle character actually appeared earlier in Captain Atom #83. Okay, that's another Charlton book. But that Blue Beetle is different than the Golden Age Blue Beetle in the fact that he's called, his character name is Ted Nord, I believe. Or Cord. It's Cord. Ted Cord. And so this is like when they gave him a regular series. Now, the funny thing is, the regular series didn't last. It only lasted 5 issues. So this is #1. #1's the only expensive one in the whole set. You can pick them up $50 to $100 for mid-grades, or somewhere around that for 2 to 5. They're not really that expensive, and you can probably pick them up cheaper. I'm just ballparking it. But the higher these ones, the #1 is the more expensive one because it is the first appearance of the question. So, but there was only 5 in the series. So, hope that answers your question. So it's a different character than the Golden Age Blue Beetle, but it's it is the Blue Beetle, just a new person doing it. It's sort of like the way Flash is different in the Silver Age and the Golden Age. And these are all Silver Age books. This is from 1967, just so you know. Okay, next question. From still Ronald Burgess. Do you have the TV series Combat Comics with Vic Morrow, my favorite actor? I've never watched it. I'm familiar with Combat, which is a TV series, but I don't have any of the comics related to that TV series, or I've never actually watched the TV series, so I really can't say much about it. I'm not really into war books that much, to tell you the truth, unless they have a sexy girl cover. So that's kind of weird, but that's the way I am. I don't really like war books that much. Okay, the next one is from Mike Swintel, and he writes, who is the real artist that drew Housewives at Play? Okay, so I tried to find out who did the cover and found out it was someone using an alias. I never found out who they really were, but I asked because I love the drawings and there's sort of, so Housewives at Play is kind of an interesting series. It's like an adult series. And actually I was debating about even answering this question online because I actually answered it in the comments. But I wanted to kind of explain a little bit about this question in a way. So what I did was I actually found out who did the artwork, right? So her name is Rebecca Happ. And basically what happened was if you search Housewives at Play, it'll say done by Rebecca, and that's her alias, that she just goes by her first name. But if you do a little bit more digging, and that's something I'm good at, is digging and kind of finding out things, you'll find out that she has her own website, RebeccaHapp.com, and HAP. And you can, it's like a members only kind of site, but you can see some of the covers for free. So it's kind of cool. Okay, so that's, I don't know. I thought that was worthy of telling people. Okay, last question. Oh, actually, 2 more questions. Do you have Betty and Veronica annual number 3? And the answer is no, I don't have that one. I've seen the cover of it. There's actually 2 Betty and Veronica annuals number 3, just so you know. One is a bikini cover, which is kind of cool, which is the digest. And there's the comic version of number 3, and Betty and Veronica number 3. And it is kind of like where they're looking through a book, and you see Betty and Veronica's head, and they're looking at this book, and inside it they see Archie and all the different guy characters from Archie, and they are reading it. So it's like, and it has like a caption like, we can read them like a book. So it's kind of a cool cover. And that's the older of the 2. So I don't have either of those in my collection, but you know, I have a bunch of Archies, but not that one. Next question. Have you or would you ever buy a comic without a cover? I do not mean included in a lot of other comics. So yes, I actually specifically bought a book without a cover intentionally, just as a placeholder. And I do that. So if I need like a book for a collection and there's none with a cover, I'll sometimes buy the coverless version as a placeholder until I get the covered version, if it's a rare book. And it just happens that the book that I picked up was a rare book, and it was affordable. So it was like, it's a placeholder. It's something that I will upgrade later, and it's not expensive. So the book that I bought was Mr. Risk number 2, and it's a coverless copy. It's complete, but coverless. Other than, well, it's not complete because it's lacking the cover, but it's complete interior. And I'm basically looking to upgrade this book. And sometimes I always wonder about the concept of just buying a cover, where if I find the cover for this book without the interior, I could marry the 2 and then have a complete book. So I'd be game for that as well. So I do buy coverless books as placeholders until I actually get the full book. I don't do it that often, and I like the covers a lot. So generally I'm less picky about the interior being incomplete than the lack of cover. So I really enjoy some of the covers, and some of the books that I'm looking for, I want the cover. So there's a bunch of books where it features Miss Mask on the cover. Well, there's one where I could buy that book coverless, but I wouldn't because it's the cover that I'm buying it for. So there are weird exceptions to the rule. So Mr. Risk number 2, I'm actually looking for the cover for this book. So, and if you have the cover out there, you can send me a comment below and tell me, and maybe I'll buy it from you. Because I really like to have the complete book for that. So that's a SOTI book. So yeah, it's just one that's a placeholder for now. So that has been Wednesday's Q&A video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have a question for me, you can put a comment below. I hope you found this reasonably interesting. Please like, comment, share this video with other people, and maybe I can build my channel some more. So thanks again for watching. Bye for now.